Mr. Edit Man presents. My wife is currently upstairs reading the phone book to my 3-year-old son. Like a bedtime story, at his request. Redditor parents. What odd things do your kids do? The other day I was leaving my sisters and my 4-year-old nephew yelled out the window, "I love you. Make good choices." When my daughter was 6, we went to check on her in the shower because she was taking an unusually long time. Pulled back the curtain, and she was squatting beneath an umbrella with the shower going full blast. She peeked out from under her umbrella and said it might rain. Then she closed the curtain and asked us to leave. Once, when we were on the subway, my 3-year-old boy asked me to read him a book I had in my bag titled Calculus of Several Variables. I have no idea why, but he sat quietly and listened very intently, while everyone in the train looked at me like I was some kind of dickhead trying to teach a little kid calculus. My 4-year-old has been reading all of my astronomy books for a while and tells us her goal in life is to be a space ballerina. When the space shuttle Endeavour flew over our city, she started crying because she thought it was coming to pick her up to fly off to space ballerina school. Edit. Clarification: crying because she was sad that it passed by and did not pick her up. My now oldest wore a Winnie the Pooh costume but would only answer to Buzz Lightyear from age 2 until kindergarten. Oldest daughter would not leave the house without a tiara and boa. Number 3 loved to eat dog food. We had to feed the dog outside. Number 4 will laugh himself into hiccups at the word fluffy. I forced my mom to read me our bird book. Several hundred pages of pure facts about locating and identifying types of birds. Every night, I memorized the birds and the order of the book, so I called her out every time she tried to skip a few birds. My 3-year-old, if left alone to choose his own shows on Netflix, will choose nothing but boring documentaries and watch the malarkey out of it. He cannot sit through an episode of SpongeBob without running around, but he will sit there for 2 hours watching a documentary on ancient life in Greece or something like that. I'm not a parent, but when I was 3/4, my parents bought a bread maker. I watched the VHS that came with it for hours on end. Despite being a like 20 over 30 minute video, as soon as it was over, I would rewind and watch it again, and again, and then correct my parents whenever the bread was not right. I was holding my 2-year-old daughter and making lemonade for her. I had squeezed the lemon into the glass and I was just about to add the water and sugar, and she grabbed the glass and drank the glass of straight lemon juice. She loved it. My 3-year-old always says, "Dad, tell me a story about a boy walking in the woods." I tell new stories and encourage him to add to them. Last night went like this. There was a boy walking in the woods, trying to find his brother. He found him by a road, and then they put on their tough guy clothes and went running. Because they are always training to be strong, they are running down the road, and then they saw it. Do you know what they saw? It was giant dot. It was a dot. It was a cow. Yep, a big giant bull. He snorted and charged at the boys. They turned around and ran as fast as they could, and Derp said to Derpface, "Use my rope." And they tied a lasso and swung from the giant bull's horns. And Derpface said, "It'll take care of this bull." And he put on his Iron Man suit, and you know what he did? Shot light bombs at him. Yep, him. Pew pew pew. Me. Pew pew pew. Him. Pew pew. His 1-year-old brother. Pew. To sum it up, I love being a dad. My 3-year-old niece has started this thing where everything is dead but it's okay. Her parents recently bought a fish tank, and whenever a fish died she would get upset, so we would tell her, well the fish died. But that's okay. It's in fish heaven, she does not get upset about the fish anymore. That's good. But now everything is dead. That's bad. Grandma having a nap on the couch. Grandma's dead, but that's okay. A cow sitting in the field. That cow is dead, but that's okay. Our son has a very unusual fascination with the car horn. We will just be driving along, and he will start crying, and will not stop until I blare the horn for a good 10-15 seconds. Shuts him up instantly, and he will have a smile on his face until he passes back out. So it's people like you that are hearing honking the horn randomly off in the distance. It's not that weird dot. I used to read the phone book as a kid. I ran out of other things to read, dictionary included. So I'd read the phone book and try to pronounce people's last names. When I was stumped, I would call them and ask how to say it. Okay, maybe it is weird dot. My 3-year-old has been pretending to be a dog for a while now. He even has us call him Gnarlin Puppy and hell do tricks for goldfish crackers. A couple of days ago I heard him giggling in his room, and I walk in to find him and our dog taking turns licking each other. Him and I have this game where we make up songs about daddy and usually how he smells bad. My son's favorite goes, chugga chugga chew. Daddy smells like poo. He sings that pretty regularly. We have a morning ritual where I ask him what he wants for breakfast and he says, "Brian's," and then chases me around the house. My parents loved retelling this to me. As a kid, I'd hide behind the giant cat post and make them introduce me like I was a stage act. Then I'd jump out from behind it and sing and dance and all that jazz. Other times I'd just climb up to the top of the cat post and sit there for a while. From this height, I was able to touch the ceiling, and then I'd rock it back and forth and make it fall forward and jump off. Parents were not fond of that when they discovered, and I was not allowed to do it again. A bit later after that, I started treating the cat post as an apartment building for my Barbies. Each level was an apartment, and there were 5 or 6 levels. I did weird malarkey with my Barbies. One time I smeared red lipstick on a fabric bed to look like blood to do a murder mystery story. In my 5-year-old daughter's room, there are 3 lights, a regular lamp, and 2 other wall lights, a pink and a green one. Each night before going to bed, she has to blow out each light. She blows it out as I flick the switches. Not sure how this started ... but now it's a thing we do each night. My 2-year-old niece does not like children's toys very much, which is not necessarily odd in and of itself ... but she loves cleaning. Give her a basket of laundry, she will fold it. Attempt to play tea party with her, she will get a rag and clean the table. Her favorite activity right now is organizing the drawers of the desk in their office. I was skeptical and thought maybe she enjoyed picking out crayons and coloring ... I watched her organize the malarkey out of that desk for 2 hours. She did not color with the crayons, she color coded them. When everything was satisfactorily organized, she got out a rubber stamp, stamped her hand, giggled, went to wash it off, and repeated this about 20 times ... with the same stamp. She is also fascinated by the act of diaper changing, but since she's now potty trained she instead chooses to watch her baby sister get changed. She'll then ask to throw away the dirty diaper every time. My son, who is also 3, loves numbers. I mean, obsessively. His favorite toy is a calculator. Every time we go to the grocery store, only the local one, no other grocery store, he starts counting as soon as we walk in the door and does not stop until we get back to our apt. Has not counting things, just counting. He tends to get to around 850 or so before my husband or I finally tell him he's driving us nuts. We try to get him to do it in German or French because it's more challenging. He can still do it though, but he tends to insist on English. It's quite a challenge to find a happy medium between insanely proud and calling the men in the white coats. My daughter demands waffles every morning ... but they must be straight out of the freezer and not toasted or warmed. Yes, frozen waffles. I put a little butter and syrup on and then cut it in half. She loves it. My kid is a whole sack of weird. Probably the one creepiest, weirdest thing she's done is when she was little, like 2 years old. She'd get up quietly at 1 or 2 AM and organize the kitchen so all the cans were facing the same way or stack things. I got up to go get water and nearly broke an ankle because she'd placed a can of soda in the direct center of every linoleum square in the kitchen. Weird as heck when you consider her dad and I were awake and did not hear a thing even though she had to get past our door and over to baby gates. She put probably 50 cans of soda out another night and we did not find it till morning. I'm alive and nanny to a little boy who's almost 3. Instead of a bedtime story, can we look at pictures of filamentous bacteria? We have a policy of always answering his why questions, even down to the scientific level, and apparently he keeps on absorbing. Up until I was around 5, I was obsessed with vacuum cleaners. I would love it whenever my mom vacuumed around the house, and every time we went to a store that sold vacuums I would spend all of my time in that aisle, just looking at them. My parents even helped me make a little scrapbook of pictures of vacuums that we would cut out of Sears catalogs, and I would go ape malarkey whenever we got these catalogs in the mail. To top it all off, one of my favorite toys as a kid was a little red toy vacuum cleaner. Neither I nor my parents know where this obsession came from, but once I started kindergarten it started to go away. My 6 years old daughter has always had a fascination with talking to complete strangers. As an introvert and social leper, I find this awkward, especially as her favorite thing is to tell them all about what is happening with us in great detail, but without any kind of context. If she got an award, the lady in the grocery line must know. Our dog died. The 8 years old at the park gets to hear all about it. She has a new joke. The waitress must share in her joy. Cute, right? Not always. At the age of about 3, whilst showering, she came in and noticed my C-section scar. She asked me what it was, and I told her it's just a scratch where the doctor took you out of my tummy. Way easier than explaining how babies usually come out. Later in the grocery store, a lady stocking shelves commented on her pretty dress, to which she responded, "I came out of mama's scratch." Mortified. To sum it up, my daughter likes to share intimate details of her life with strangers and has a knack for making it sound incredibly inappropriate. I'm not a parent, but I was a little weirdo back in the day. I remember I once shaved the hair off one of my dolls, beheaded it, painted her neck and face with red nail polish, and then stuck the body and head in the freezer for my mother to find. Serial killer in the making. If you are reading this, you made it until the end of the video. There is no more after this. Click the thumbs up button since you made it until the end. On screen there should be some more videos similar to this, so either go do something else or watch another video. That's it. I do not know why you are still here. What are you waiting for, a secret message or something? The message is subscribers enjoy 2 great Reddit videos every day. Yeah, I know. What are you expecting though? This is a YouTube channel.